Know who you're talking to. This is the very first step in connecting emotionally with your audience through a radio spot. And not just any audience, but the right audience. You must always keep your listener profile in mind while writing engaging radio ads. What are their likes and dislikes? What type of things will trigger an emotional reaction in their heads? How old are they? Is the audience mostly male or female?
That brings up a very important point. As you're writing, always remember to be sensitive to the gender gap. Sex and gender humor are often used in advertising, but they're not always used well. Sometimes they can be distracting and alienate a significant portion of the target audience. This is usually a concern when marketing to women, and particularly a concern when men are marketing to women.
Hey, don't look at me, sweetheart. I'm a gentleman. But seriously, she's right. It's important to make sure that emotional sensibilities connect appropriately, especially when marketing to a predominantly female audience, or an audience that is influenced by females, which, to be honest, covers most consumer products and services.
You got that right, stud. Sex and gender humor are not necessarily bad techniques. They just need to be focused properly. It is important to use them where they can enhance the listener's understanding of the offer or brand. These techniques have to be framed in an appreciable way with innuendos that affirm the group's identity, as opposed to ignoring or discouraging it. Once you've identified who your audience is, you should aim to create a sense of membership for them. And by membership, we are talking about going from the concept of me to we.
Throughout human history, people have been drawn to live in groups where they feel less vulnerable and more secure. In order to have a satisfying emotional experience while listening to your ad, the audience needs to have a sense of belonging and revel in the status of being part of the group. They want to have an opportunity to say, "That's where I belong," or "I get that." It's a very powerful sensation. And when there's a we, there's also a them, the outsider group. Creating these two groups allows reinforcement of the we by contrasting the in-group with the out-group. When creating a sense of membership, it's crucial that the radio spot has a group identity, and that it addresses the listener's values as they relate to that particular group.